Nico Hulkenberg out of the car and out of the sprint race before it even begins. Hulkenberg and his Audi team were concerned. They were trying to flush through the systems. You could see that with all the mop-up on the floor. They've sent him round to the grid, and he will not make it. Here we go. We're sprinting in 5 lights time. The Miami sprint is underway. Lando Norris gets a good launch. Kimi Antonelli gets a bad one. He's been swallowed once again. It is Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc, the top 3. The top two contenders in the World Championship side by side. Russell very close. Oh, and they're banging wheels. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen make their way through. They're all still pointing in the right direction. Lando Norris has the lead in a McLaren 1-2.
Yeah, and that was 3 abreast at one point. I think it was Colapinto was one side of Verstappen, Hamilton on the other. And there was definitely some contact there, but nothing, no damage, of course. But otherwise, it looks it's been a clean getaway for the others.
But another horrible getaway for Antonelli, who's tumbled down, was fighting with Russell into the first corner, which is the last thing he wanted, but he's at least stayed ahead. And here he comes back on Leclerc.
Trying to make immediate progress in the braking zone. Huge speeds on this back straight. There's Antonelli with a little bit of a lock-up and no chance to get past the Ferrari. Antonelli down from 2nd to 4th.
Yeah, that is not going to script, and he's going to have to work hard, but we know that they've had good race pace and sprint pace earlier in the year. Kimi there bogging down initially. You saw he looked immediately to his mirrors. He knew as he dropped the clutch he had not got the launch that he needed, and once you bog down, it's incredibly difficult then, of course, to pick up the RPM. That's Lewis Hamilton on the left. Colapinto's going to come and join the party, and then he's going, oh yeah, I'll leave you two boys to it. And that allowed Pierre Gasly to get around the outside of him.
Hamilton's cleared Verstappen after that early skirmish as well, so he's up into 6th, and the Red Bulls shuffle down to what should be a normal pecking order for them.
Is there an opportunity for the championship leader? Wafts one to the inside. Half-committed move, deep. Does that give it a chance for George Russell? Goes deep into turn 11. Now it's very, very slow, single file stuff through 12 and 13, but Leclerc stays ahead.
Kimi is so bad on the autonomous. He moves at the braking, it's unbelievable. We're gonna crash.
It's another overtake for Sergio Perez at the hairpin, this time getting past Liam Lawson, and they were passed by Carlos Sainz, who is in P14. Sainz hangs on to it for the moment, but this is the first time we've really seen a Cadillac race in Formula One. Perez has been on the front foot all the way through when we've seen him behind the wheel this weekend, and they're actually contending, not for points, but in the middle of the pack.
You can see Verstappen coming slightly more mid-track, almost as if he's trying to get some cooling, as here comes George Russell.
Russell to the inside of his teammate and championship rival, and he built and he built and he built, and Antonelli will try and come back immediately. The two Mercedes going side by side, disputing the positions. Antonelli tries to come back, Russell chops across, and George Russell has the position for the moment. Max Verstappen has a chance up against Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton, who was a lot closer before. Antonelli gets by. Verstappen to the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Tight into turn 11. Both off the road as they rejoin.
Yeah, he'll probably need to give that back, having gone wide, gone beyond the white line with all 4 wheels and tyres. So Hamilton, will he even bother going on the radio?
Antonelli gets past Russell, Verstappen gets past Hamilton, but they'll have a look at that battle for 6th.
So can Russell get back towards Antonelli? Verstappen will certainly have to give that back.
Max overtook me going off track.
First of all, Antonelli got past Russell, and it was a late braking move for Max Verstappen up against Hamilton.
So it's absolutely fine the way he approaches if he stays on the track on the exit. Getting there to the apex on the inside, it's good, but he just couldn't stop the car enough.
Yeah, well, Max didn't give it up there. He is now...
They're waiting. Give the place back is the instruction. We've got great battles going on across the field. Once again, late on the brakes. Max Verstappen at the hairpin ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Tries to get on the power as early as possible, fighting the car as it squirms around, but it's Max Verstappen up to 6th place. Verstappen up against Hamilton, Antonelli up against Russell, and it's Norris, Piastri and Leclerc, the top 3 at the moment. This is Esteban Ocon, and a part of his Haas making a bid for freedom.
It's off the racing line, but it'll be interesting to see if the race director feels there's any action required for that, as we see it from the onboard perspective.
Did he hit it? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Oh, that's very unlucky. From one car to the path of another. Charles Leclerc with that distinctive rotating rear wing element, trialled by Ferrari in pre-season testing, raced in this specification. Whoa, that's a late move at a really unusual part of the racetrack. Great move, Isaac Hadjar. Up to ninth, we caught it late, and he makes the move early in the lap. Miami circuit that really came into its own last year with pass and repass between the McLarens and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc off in the background, and that cools off the fight. He was wide earlier on in the S's, and you showed how much risk he was taking, but Charles Leclerc's effort to get up to second comes undone on the penultimate lap, and Oscar Piastri has stood tall and will surely claim a McLaren 1-2. Multiple teams involved, multiple drivers involved. The Mercedes domination for the moment is on pause. Here comes the world champion. Another winning moment in Miami for Lando Norris. The Grand Prix in 24, the sprint in 25, the sprint again in 2026 for Lando Norris, who wins and takes the checkered flag. It's a McLaren 1-2 thanks to Oscar Piastri, and it's a Ferrari in third with Charles Leclerc. Antonelli with a 10-point lead in the World Championship now, and George Russell chased all the way home by Max Verstappen, who had a much stronger drive than we have seen in the last two events. And then the final points will go the way of Lewis Hamilton in seventh. Pierre Gasly completes the point scorers.
Good effort, mate. Well done.
Yeah, well done. Nice win. Great job. Let's do it all over again.
Lando Norris taking the win. Oscar Piastri 3 seconds behind. Charles Leclerc completing the top three. George Russell and Max Verstappen promoted after a 5-second penalty for Kimi Antonelli. The points completed by Hamilton and Gasly. Good battling between Hadjar and Colapinto, but no points for either due to the sprint format.